Today we have a $5,000 return from PSA card that we're going to be going over. We actually had one card from PSA that was not graded, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's go ahead and get into it. We are going to start with the card that PSA did not grade. If you send in a card to PSA and they do not grade it, or if it's not part of their registry yet, they will send it back just like this. They'll put it between two pieces of cardboard, they'll tape it up, and they do put a little label on the inside explaining why they did not grade this card. It could be because it was fake, it could be because there was inking on the card, or it's just not part of their registry. I sent in a Pikachu's Vacation phone card that's also called the Mewtwo Strikes Back 1 phone card officially. There's no info on this card. They did not place it in a holder. Obviously, they just sent it back to me because it's not part of their registry. They do grade phone cards. They have the Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos 1996 phone cards that they do grade. You can look those up on eBay and other buying sites. They're very, very expensive. So I sent this in with all the information about it, trying to get this added to the phone card registry, and they just did not want to add it, I guess. So they sent it back to me without being graded. I do really enjoy the Pikachu Vacation part of the movie. I do really enjoy this artwork a lot. I actually got the Viz Comics Pikachu's Vacation graded. Kind of hard to see. It's a pretty big holder from, let me get that up here. It's a pretty big holder from CGC Comics, as you guys can see. Same artwork there on the Pikachu's Vacation. One of my favorites of all time. Really wanted to get this added to the registry. They just did not want to grade it. Let's go ahead and get into the cards that they did grade. The first card we got graded was this Hitmontop Neo Discovery card. I actually pulled this out of a theme deck like 15 years ago, and it's just been kind of sitting around. It's a good memory for me, so I got it graded. Value on this, only around $30–40. Not super valuable, but it's very sentimental to me, so I wanted to get it inside of a PSA slab. We have an Umbreon H29 Holo from Aquapolis. This is one of the most valuable Umbreon cards. Raw, this card sells for between $300 and $500 depending on the condition. This one came back in a PSA 8, which is kind of a low grade for this, but since it's such a sought after card, the last PSA 8 of this actually sold for about $580, which is kind of wild when you think about it. This is a really clean copy. Not really sure why it got knocked down to an 8. Let's see if we can find any blemishes on the surface there, maybe. I'm not seeing it. That's a beautiful card. We may have to crack that one open and try and regrade that one. All right, we got the Leafeon VMAX from Evolving Skies. Last sold copy of this, right around $100 or so. Really good looking card. Evolving Skies has just been blowing up like crazy. We have the 2019-2020 Championship Series Professor's Research card. This card is only worth about $50 in a PSA 10. There's just so many of them out there. It's a really cool card though. This 2019-2020 Championship Series does have some valuable cards in it, and we do have one of the more valuable cards in today's return. We got the Alt Art Sylveon V. Really nice card from Evolving Skies. We actually pulled this live on stream, and the person who pulled it wanted to get it graded, so we sent it in, and it got the Gem Mint 10. Last copy of that sold for around $150 in a PSA 10. We got the shiny Charizard V from Champion's Path. I think this is the most graded card of all time. The PSA registry for this card is basically in the tens of thousands. It's absolutely insane how many of these there are. Graded, basically every single one that was ever pulled was sent to PSA, and most of them got that Gem Mint 10. We got the Tag All-Stars, Zoroark, and Greninja. This card surprised me whenever I looked up the price of it. I expected it to be in the $200 or $300 range, especially in a PSA 10, but the last sold copy of this was only $105. To me, that's a little bit undervalued. They never brought this card over to the English side as far as I know. It is a Japanese exclusive, and with how popular Greninja is especially, I'm really surprised that this card is only sitting at $105 on the sold value. Obviously, with all these sold values, the listings on eBay and other buying sites are probably going to be a little bit higher than the last sold, but I feel the last sold values give you a more accurate idea of the actual value of these returns. Look at this beautiful Expedition Ampharos holographic card. This is one of my favorite cards from the whole return just because of how good it looks. It has a really nice little swirl there right by his hand. Beautiful card. Got a near mint 8 on that. Last sold copy of this was actually more than the Zoroark card Secret Rare. Last sold copy of this was right around $120. If that came back in a 9 or a 10, it would be a big difference in the value. We got the Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates. Another one of the most graded cards in recent memory. Gem Mint 10 on this. This is still sitting strong at around $300 in a PSA 10. Hasn't come down quite as much as the Champions Path Charizard V. We have the base set Charizard Holo. The nostalgia whenever some of these get graded is just crazy to me. This is a card that I had when I was a kid, and to see one of these come back from grading, it just brings back a lot of really, really fond memories. This got a PSA 2, a lot of dents on it. This was a community member's childhood card that they just wanted to get encapsulated. Not expecting a good grade on it at all. It's just a happy memory for them, I'm sure. We got the special delivery Bidoof. Like a month ago, these were sitting at like $120 in a PSA 9. They've jumped up quite a bit over the last month and a half or so. PSA 9 copy of this last sold for $360. The PSA 10 copies of this have gone just absolutely crazy. I'm not really sure why. Could just be a buyout happening on the special delivery Bidoof. There's obviously a lot less of these than the special delivery Charizard that has just released. The special delivery Charizard is going to have such a high population in the grading report just because there were so many of those codes given out, and people with bots got thousands and thousands of those codes. We didn't have that situation with the Bidoof, so there's a good chance that the Bidoof is going to be the more valuable of the two long term. We got the Arceus V-Star, Brilliant Star Secret Rare. Last sold copy of that, right around $100 or so. All right, here's the other 2019-2020 championship promo card. This card and a PSA 10 is sitting last sold for $460. It's absolutely crazy on this one. There was one that did sell for right around $200 as well, but that was just an auction outlier, I do believe, because all of the other sold listings have been over $400 for this card. So somebody just got really, really lucky on one specific auction. We have the Cramorant Pokemon stamp box. The Cramorant and the Pikachu stamp collection, I think that is actually the next card here. They both got the Gym Mint 10. These were a lot more expensive a few months ago. The Cramorant has come down to around $120. The Pikachu is still sitting at around $300 in a PSA 10. So not too bad for the two cards, $400. I believe the box costs less than what the value of this card is. So whoever managed to pick up those boxes at the MSRP price is probably doing really, really well based on the graded value of the two cards on the inside. We got the Dragon Majesty Dragonite GX. One of my favorite cards from this return. Just a beautiful card. Not super valuable. Maybe a $60, $70 value on that one. We have the Glaceon VMAX. We missed the 10 on the Glaceon VMAX. This is sitting right around $120 in the Mint 9. If it were to come back a Gym Mint 10, it would be more than double that. Next card we have the VMAX Climax Umbreon VMAX. Really, really nice looking card there. Last sold copy of this, around $80 or so. This was also pulled on stream, sent in by the community member that pulled it. We have the Gym Mint 10 20th anniversary CP6 Charizard. This card was actually a CGC 8, and we cracked it and we sent it in and it came back as a 10. CGC 8 of this card sells for $60. PSA 10 copy of this card sells for $350. Big difference there. Pretty profitable to open up CGC slabs if you think you can cross it over to PSA in a higher grade. We got the 2009 Victory Medal Gym Mint 10. This is a non-holographic promo card from the Diamond and Pearl era. This does have a little bit less value than some of the other Victory Medals. Right now, Gym Mint 10 copy of this sitting right around $120, which is a really, really good price in my opinion. I would probably pay $120 for this card if I saw it sitting in a showcase. Next card we have the base set Blastoise. This is another childhood card sent in by a community member. I'm sure this is going to bring back a lot of really, really good memories for them. I really enjoy doing this. Sending in cards for people is just a lot of fun. Okay, got the Excellent 5. Value on that, maybe around $70, $80. Not super valuable in a PSA 5. The Dark Charizard holographic card in a Near Mint 7. That's actually a really, really high grade for that. With how much damage that has on the corners there, I expected that to be closer to the Blastoise PSA 5 grade than the Near Mint 7. Last copy of this in a Near Mint 7 sold for $150, which is a really, really good price for a Near Mint card. And we have the base set Venusaur and the PSA 2 to finish off the big three. This one's obviously in really, really rough shape. Look at all those creases and everything on the back. Surprised that one actually didn't get a 1. So that does cap off the big three childhood collection for community member Jackson. I'm sure he's going to absolutely love having these inside of the PSA cases regardless of the grades. Beautiful, beautiful set of cards there. We got a few cards left here. The value on this return was a little bit over $5,000. It's just some insane value on some of these Gym Mint 10 cards. This Altart Moltres card last sold for $320 in a PSA 10. The Altart market has gone kind of crazy lately. Most of the Altarts from the Sword and Shield era have just kind of skyrocketed in price. The Galarian Moltres V being one of the absolute best in my opinion. It's no surprise that the Gym Mint 10 is sitting over $300. This is the most expensive card from the return, the Blue Shock Red Flash Full Art Skyla promo. This is a one card promo that came with the case of booster boxes. I do believe that's the XY Breakthrough if you were to go over to the English set for the Blue Shock Red Flash. Last sold copy of this was right at $1,000. The lowest listed copy of this right now on eBay is $2,200. So I would probably just put a value on this between $1,500 and $2,000 just for the lowest price listed. By far the most valuable card that we got graded. One of the best looking cards by far from the entire return as well. We got one card left. We have the Piplup from the 11th movie binder set. I actually have a sealed copy of that up here if you guys can see that. It's a really, really good looking set of cards. Really enjoy this card. In a Gem Mint 10, this actually sells for a couple $100. In the Mint 9, right around $30 or so. These are really, really hard to grade. As you guys can tell, it's got a lot of hollow pattern on it. The edges are hollow and just a lot of holographic area that can get scratched. And that's the biggest reason why, because the binders they came in were just paper binders. They weren't very well protected, so they were super easy to get damaged. That's our return for today. Let me know what you guys think of the cards down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.